What is up, everybody? It is Thursday night. It's 9 o'clock. It is time for Shooting the Shit Uncensored, and I am your host, the dad bod god himself, the bald, the beard, the fucking beautiful Piers Austin, and we are brought to you live by the MWA Podcast Network. What is going on, everybody? I have a very, very special guest, a guest that is actually doing her first podcast, and it is on the Shooting the Shit Uncensored podcast with me. So I'm very excited to have her on and to be the first podcast that she's on. But before I bring out my guest for the evening, referee Hannah, I want to take a quick pause for that cause to thank some of those amazing sponsors that keep this show going possible. First up is healthvape.com. Now, listen, Health Vape is a healthy vaping alternative, guys. If you or someone you know is a smoker or one of those dirty vapor things, yes, I'm a vapor person. Is that a thing? I don't know what you would call it, but I walk around with one of these things making noises and chucking up massive clouds everywhere I go. But guys, check out healthvape.com because all of their products are no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals, and they are vitamin infused. So go to healthvape.com, use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is sleefs.com. That's SLEEFS, Sleefs. Now, Sleefs take care of every little bit of athletic wear that you will need. They've got armbands, compression pants, compression shorts, compression socks, headbands, mouth guards, boots. They've even got dirty boxes. And like, guys, I've said before, they sent me a box of these dirty boxes, and they are the most comfortable boxes that I own. They stay fresh, they stay dry all day long. I'm an active guy. I'm at the gym. I'm running around for work. I'm running around after the kids. So, these are the most comfortable boxes for me. Check out the funky designs they've got on the front of them. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Now, MWA Podcast Network, we've got shows dropping every single day of the week, guys. We've got the Funkin' Kingpin show, which is dropping tomorrow at 12 p.m. Australian time, which is 8 p.m. USA Eastern, which is hosted by former ECW original, the Kingpin, Angel Medina, and hosted by former WCW and TNA star Alan Kwee Funk. We've also got Get Funked, hosted by Kwee. We've got Killing the Business, hosted by Angel Medina, and also with King Mega and the Burger King, Glenn Sexton. We've got Knights of the Gimmick Table, hosted by the Dead Presidents. We've got Wrestling with Sports. We got NXT Roundup. We got Shooting the Shit. We've got a show for you every day of the week. We have a show for every single wrestling fan there is. So make sure you check us out. Hit that subscribe button on any podcast platform. Leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment. It helps us out a great deal. But guys, I can see there's a few people in the chat already. We've got Joel, Kyle, Josh, Nick, and we're going to bring out my guest this evening, referee Hannah. Hannah, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, good. It's an honor to have you on. I've wanted to have you on for a while. I've seen you on shows, and you're really sort of, I think, starting to come in, because from what my understanding is, you're pretty new into the business. Am I correct?
Yeah. So I probably had my tryout 2 and a bit years ago. So I'm pretty new in terms of refereeing. I debuted just over a year ago. It was 5th of December, I believe. So I'm still pretty fresh at the moment. But for the first year, it's been going really good.
Perfect. And when you got into wrestling 2 years ago, was refereeing the idea for what you wanted to do, or were you thinking in-ring performer?
Yeah, so at the start, I wanted to be in ring as a performer, as a wrestler, as most people would. But about 3 to 4 months in, I was watching a show and I thought refereeing would be a good way to get my face out there before, I wrestled. So I asked Adam Hoffman, I was like, can I learn to ref? And he goes, yes, of course. We need more refs. So, training session, he said, if you keep doing this, we'll jump you on the next Newy Pro show. That got me so excited. And then, of course, we had COVID. So that hit me a bit hard because the show that I was meant to debut on got cancelled probably a few days out. So that sucked a bit. But a few months went on. We had COVID, stuff like that. Came back to training and still with the intention of being a wrestler and a referee to start off. I then had a pretty weird injury. Basically what happened was I started getting a lot of neck pain and my neck was hurting, jaw pain, all that stuff, and went to the doctor. 3 days later, they told me I had a carotid artery tear. And that, it was very, very small, but it was enough that I couldn't wrestle again. So that was fun.
When you say artery tear, is that like in the heart or?
So it's up in my neck. So it's just on this side. It basically is the artery that connects your heart to your brain. It was a small tear, probably like 3 millimeters by 2.2 millimeters, something like that. It was very small, very minor, but it was enough for them to tell me that you can't wrestle again. And that was August last year. They told me 3 to 6 months for it to heal, and it's not healed yet. Like it's been forever. So that was a bit of a low blow for them to tell me that I couldn't wrestle again. But they told me refereeing was okay. As long as, like, if I had to take anything, any hits, whatever, as long as it wasn't on this side, we're golden. So they just, it sucked at the time, but I'm thinking of this as a blessing, to be honest, because I love refereeing, and it's honestly, like, I think if this didn't happen anyway, I may have just continued as a referee because I much more enjoy it than I ever did like as a wrestler. I know it's a bit weird to say, like, I feel like everyone who gets into wrestling wants to be a wrestler, and I do, like, I did, but now I'm really content with being a referee, and it's just great for me. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I interviewed Lane Rosario. Now she's an American independent wrestling referee, and she had been around the wrestling scene since like the early to mid 2000s. She'd been a wrestler, she'd been a valet, and she's like, it was nothing really seemed to stick for her. And then it's like she put the stripes on, and it's like everything just fell into place. Like it was just like she found her.
Yeah, that's definitely what it felt like for me. I've kind of grown up in a family where a lot of my family, like my mum, my auntie, my pop, they were all in that sort of role as an umpire or as a referee. Obviously, in different sports. Like my mum was a umpire for netball. I even did that for 6 years, which I think helped me a lot. It helped me control things, and it gave me the eye movement to make sure I know what's happening in matches. Like, it helped me concentrate on what was going on. And then, my auntie was a football referee. My pop was a soccer referee. So,
wow. So it's in your blood.
Yeah, pretty much. Like a lot of my family were in that role. And so that kind of helped me connect to the referee role. And it just clicked, like the first time I did a training match, I felt it. Felt it a lot more than anything that I've done in the ring. So it really helped. Yeah.
How did you find, because the referee has to sort of be that sort of authority figure in that ring and play that role, so to speak, of the show. Did you find it intimidating to sort of like step in between and be like, hey, you get back?
Well, I definitely have had a few matches where I felt like a bit panicked. Like I'll see a card and be like, I really hope I don't get that match because it's going to be really intense. Like, I feel like it would be really scary. But once I get in the ring, like, everything just changes. I think it's the atmosphere. It's being in front of a crowd. Like, I don't care who I get in the middle of. Like, I think I've yelled at so many people and not given a shit. It's just the greatest feeling. My mum likes to say that I have, she says that I like power. And as a referee, I've got power. And I'm not going to disagree with that because I feel like I've got that control in there and I like the control.
Yeah.
But
How did you find like going to like refereeing matches, but like what were you watching any particular referees to try and pick up mannerisms and body movement, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I have watched a lot of Ref Aubrey from AEW. I just connect with her a lot, and Jess as well from WWE. Like, I prefer to watch them. I think it's because they're females, but like it's just fun watching them. I've been very lucky enough to have some tips. Like, I've been able to talk with Aubrey. She's watched my matches and even given me tips and stuff like that, which has helped me like greatly for my matches. So yeah, it's just watching them helps me a lot, especially for triple threats and mainly tag matches. I always struggled with tag matches at first, but when I can watch them, then it definitely helps.
Yeah, because all the extra elements that go into different matches and stuff like that, and making sure that you're there enforcing the right rule set and stuff like that. But for years, I think the old school wrestling mentality has been with referees that if a referee goes unnoticed, they've done their job. And I think now, like in the last few years, you're starting to see referees become more personalities as well and part of that show. And I think it's great if they can add a sense of value to it without stealing the spotlight from a performer. And you see like someone like Aubrey who does that really, really well. She'll accentuate a match without stealing the thunder from the performance.
Yeah, that's how I try to be. Like, I've had a lot of matches where, especially when I started, I would kind of try to ask for advice, and someone would say like, well, we didn't notice you, so you did your job. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I'd talk to Nick later on, and he'd be like, yeah, that's the stuff you want. You want that advice. You want to be told, like, you're not in the way, you're not distracting the actual match. That's what you want. And I'm happy with that advice. Like, I'm happy to take that 100% because, yeah.
And
obviously, I don't want to steal the spotlight, but it's always nice, I guess, every now and again. Like, when I'm at Newy shows, I come out and people chant and I just get really confused.
But I think as well, like, having that, going into, having the referee part of it and being able to be part of the show and not be, noticed, as well as like knowing where to be at certain points in the ring. Because like I see even like on some NXT shows that you see like the referees where it's like there's a pinfall and it takes the referee like longer, like say 3-4 seconds where she could have right, or he could have been right down there to make that pinfall. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely
to learn as well, like the ring psychology and ring placement.
Well, I always had to learn, I guess, where the hard cam was. I always make sure that I'm not standing anywhere on the hard cam side because I obviously don't want to get in people's way. But once I started learning people's moves, people's ring moves, stuff like that, it definitely helped for where I needed to be. That was some tips that I got as well, just to be a bit quicker. And I find that when I find the right place, I know when the pin's going to happen and I can get there a bit quicker. I definitely used to be a bit too slow when I started, but that was just a thing I had to learn and pick up. And yeah, it's just something I learn every match with each wrestler. It's different. It can be different, but yeah, no, it's a tricky little task, but once you pick up on it, it's not too bad.
And like, what has been the main advice you've gotten from someone like Aubrey, who is a referee at that high level?
Yeah, she has watched a few of my matches from PWA. I think she watched the rookies versus coaches match. She watched my Who's versus PWA one and Speed Force, I think it was, versus MK Plus Ultra and Lucci. And both of those were really, I just needed to like get to the pins a bit quicker. I needed to practice my sliding because I wasn't sliding as quick, but I was also pinning a bit weird. Like, I would slide on my knees, but then go on my side. I needed to learn to slide on my knees, pin on my knees, and that's what I've picked up and like I'm now doing that, and that helped heaps because I never noticed I was actually doing that. And she at the start, probably like 6 months in, she was telling me to be a lot louder. Like I wasn't as quiet. I was quiet, sorry. And I needed to be a bit louder. But then the second time we talked and she watched my new matches, she said I was getting so much louder, so much more confident too. And she was quite happy with that. So it was just little things, but they've definitely helped me improve like drastically.
And how long before it all started clicking for you and you started getting, these sort of like understanding the psychology of it?
I would say probably 3 months in. I was still getting a lot of advice from like Adam Hoffman. He was always watching to make sure like I'm doing the right stuff and would always say like, get in the ring, we got to practice more, like you need more training matches just to make sure I get everything right. So it was probably 3 months in that I felt the most confident, and then I could keep going. And yeah, no, I feel like I've picked up a lot more in a year than I ever thought I would, to be honest.
And when you had that first match that you had to ref, who was in the match? Give us a bit of a background.
Yeah, so that was a fun debut. I didn't know I was actually going to be doing it until I got to the venue. So it was a PWA Academy show, and I got there and Endo was unavailable for the day. It was just Nick, and Bonza came up to me and he's like, "Have you got your ref stuff?" And I said, yeah, I brought it. He goes, "All right, you want to ref some matches?" And I was like, okay. Like, heart fell into my stomach. I was freaked a little bit. Which is out of nowhere, but I obviously wasn't going to say no because like debut. And my first match was Parker Thomas versus Michael Spencer. And I was very thankful that was my first match because I am very good friends with Parker Thomas, and he just made it easy. Yeah, he's awesome. He made it so easy for me. He's a motivator, let's be honest. Like in the back, he was checking, making sure I was okay. After the match, he'd check on me, make sure I was okay. And I just felt great. Like I was very nervous, to say the least, but it helped a lot that my first match was with PT. Yeah. And then I think my second match that night was Shazza versus Steph DeLander. So that was a pretty good match as well to have. And Shazza gave me some tips. Like, obviously, I didn't know a lot about time cues at that point. Yeah. Because no one really told me about that. So I learnt the best ways to do that, and that definitely helped me as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I actually think I was at that show as well, by the way.
Oh, really?
I think I was there. Yeah. So that's cool.
Oh,
I got to that's cool.
Yeah.
There live. But, as far as, now like being, someone who's been doing it for a year or two, and, starting to see you on some more and more shows, like how far do you want to take refereeing? Like, is this something that you want to do as a career? Is this like a hobby? Like, where is this for you?
Look, if I could go to America and do this, I'm not going to say no. I'd be on a plane in a heartbeat. I would love to do this over in the States. I would love to do something in the E or an AEW, but like it's not something I'm pushing towards. It's more just, if it happens, it happens. But right now I am loving where I'm at the moment. I just got like a full-time job this year. So everything right now has been really easy in terms of Friday shows. Like it's easy for me to organize shows with work, and I don't know how hard it would be going over to America, because I know a lot of people go to America for 3 months at a time to do matches over there. I'd probably only get 3 weeks, but if I got to do as many shows in America in 3 weeks, then I'd be over there.
Well, they run shows like 7 days a week.
Yeah.
In some places. So it's not out of the realm of possibility you could go there and get a lot of work done.
Yeah, no, definitely. It is something that I want to do, hopefully 2022 or 23. But right now I'm really good with where I'm at, like with PWA and Newy. Maybe even might go down to Melbourne and hopefully do some deathmatch. That is where I really want to go at the moment. It just seems like a really fun show, so I would be keen for that. But yeah, even if I got to go to different states, that would even be amazing for me. That's just a goal that I have in general. So yeah, definitely.
So you mentioned deathmatch down under. Like, how do you think you would fare getting in there and refereeing a deathmatch? Let's say you've got Callum Butcher on one side and Damien Rivers on the other side. Those are two intimidating dudes to be in the ring.
Yeah, look, it would probably be very intense, but I just think it would be such a different experience, and I would just love to do it. I just think it would be so fun and interesting and just something to put on the resume, you know, like death matches is just not, it's not something you see every day unless you live in Melbourne. You get it all the time, I guess. But yeah, no, it's something that I used to, I follow John Moxley a lot, and like his matches with death matches, all the stuff he used to do, I just watch it. I love those types of matches.
Did you see his match in Tournament of Death? I think it was like 2006 with the Saw.
Oh, yes, I think yes. Yeah. I'd like to do those matches. I'm a bit weird, but I really like those matches.
Yeah, you know
I just think they'd be so fun.
Deathmatch wrestling is one of the, I think now is probably more accepted, like on mainstream wrestling side of things now. But it's like years ago, it's like, oh, you think deathmatch wrestling, you put it like, you know, backyard wrestling, for example. Whereas like now it's like you're seeing, you know, Matt Cardona, for example, going and doing death matches, you know, Chris Jericho doing a death match. It's becoming more, you know, popular, because I think it's also because it's been done differently to what it was done 20 years ago. There's more psychology into it. There's more of a build up to certain spots than just, you know, hacking and slashing.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's changed a lot, but it's just, it just looks so interesting to me, and I don't know. When I wanted to wrestle, death matches was something I really wanted to do. Really? I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. My body loves being injured. My neck, everything. Like, I just get injured constantly. So I was like, why not do it in a death match and do it to myself? So I don't know. Yeah, it looked really fun, and I'm a bit weird, I guess.
Hey, man, no.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like, you know, the deathmatch side of things, like, so you weren't like, as a fan, were you more leaning towards like the indie deathmatch companies as opposed to like WWE? And I suppose, you would have been, right.
Yeah,
so
that's in indie deathmatch. Kind of, yeah. It was. I got into wrestling like kind of late. My uncle has always been a huge fan, and it was always on at his house. So whenever we were there, I kind of accidentally was watching wrestling, but I wasn't into it at the time. I was just watching it. And then probably like 2013, I think, is when I really got into it. And I watched a lot of it, and I watched a lot of it really quickly. And I just watched it too often. My family was getting annoyed, and I
bet your uncle loved it though, right?
Oh yeah, he was so excited when I told him I tried out at Newy. Like he took me to my first indie show, which was Newy Pro down at Charlestown, and I was probably just fresh 18 at that time, but I didn't realize I actually had tryouts, so I was watching it for like a year or two, and I went with a few friends, my dad and a few friends, and I brought Albie. So Albie Antroska, she came with me. It was her first show, and there was one female match on that show, and she said, we got to try out. She's like, will you try out? And I was like, I'll do it if you do it. And so we both tried out that day. Oh, that next, not that day, the next one they had. It was probably like a month after that first show. And yeah, and the rest is history pretty much. Like if I hadn't recommended her come to the show, probably wouldn't have even tried out, to be honest, because I was so nervous of doing it by myself. But having Albie there really helped. It just made me feel a bit more confident and a lot less awkward.
I think if you have like a friend there, I think doing anything new, it sort of like breaks down that sort of level like of comfort, because you've got someone there. It's like you can lean on, and vice versa.
Definitely.
But, you know, as far as like going in and then, transitioning, I want to know, like, how did you find deathmatch wrestling? Because like,
I just found it because of Moxley. Like he was probably the first wrestler, like first real, like when I got into it.
Sure.
John Moxley was that first wrestler that I was like, wow.
That was your guy, right?
I fell in love with him. I just loved everything about him at the time. And then so I was like looking up old videos from when he wasn't in the E, and I found CZW.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, he's done all this stuff? Like, this doesn't even feel like him. But little did I know that when he was in the E, it was just like so different to what he is now and what he was before. And now he just feels like he like how he should be. Now that he's in AEW, stuff like that. He just, I started watching those matches, and I watch other matches, and I just fell into a loop. And
you do that, don't you? Like that's what I always say. Like, wrestling fans always go down into rabbit holes, and you'll sit there and like trying to like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look up something about this thing or this person, and next thing you know, you're like watching deathmatch wrestling from Japan in 1995. You know, like it's like in the morning.
Yeah. It was just one of those things that he dragged me into. Basically, like I watched one of his matches and it just kept going, and I was like, this is sick. Like, I've never seen this side of wrestling before. It was just, just crazy to me.
It really is. Like, I think, deathmatch wrestling is one of those things where it's like it looks very, very brutal, and it is very, very brutal. But like, I always sit there and go, but wrestling is always about the, it's about the, the illusion effect. You know what I mean? Like, so I go, okay. And like speaking to like some deathmatch wrestlers, it's like, and they sort of like, pull the curtain back for me a little bit and like explain. I'm going, that still fucking sounds like it would suck. I'm not gonna lie, that doesn't sound comfortable.
Yeah. No, everything looks so scary, but I was like, I could do that. Why not? Like, I don't know. It was something I really wanted to get into. But no, definitely one of those things I just was interested in.
So, leading into now, like into 2022, like what are your main plans and goals for wrestling next year?
Well, my main goals are really just to get into different states and try do some shows, something a bit different. But I don't have huge amount of goals. Mainly, the main thing is I'm going to stick with Newy and PWA, do as many shows as I can. I think I did it was 60 matches this year. That was with 3 months of COVID. So if I can hit past that, if COVID doesn't screw us, I'll be very happy. Because at the moment it's looking like January is already pretty full, and I'm very keen for that. I guess really I'd like to do some different matches. I guess like something fun like a steel cage match would be very interesting if I ever got the opportunity to. But I don't have a huge thing right now. I guess it might be something I figure out in the next few months. But small things like that where it's like just fun extra things to put in a wrestling match would be cool.
What's been like the most challenging match that you've had to referee so far?
I don't know. I can't really think of anything because a lot of my matches have been very, I don't want to say easy. I guess I'd say they were very what's the word, I guess. I don't want to say easy, but they've been really easy. I can't think of the word. It's been like I haven't had any too complicated matches. Like
nothing too complicated.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Nothing too complicated. It's been very, very fun of a year. Yeah, no, I haven't had any challenges in matches yet. I have a feeling I'll have some next year, but yeah, no, I'm very happy with the matches I've had.
And is there any performers that you'd like to sort of get in there and referee that are in the country? Like, who's some of the performers that you'd love to ref one of their matches with?
I'd like to do a few of the Melbourne guys like Brooksy and I can't think. Mainly Brooksy, actually. I do enjoy Brooksy. He's a fun wrestler. He looks fun. Oh, and Joel Bateman.
Yeah.
I just love Joel. He's so nice. He's so nice. I'm just like, he would be really fun to referee because I feel like he's just fun. But I'm sure he's got such a serious side as well. But he would be fun. It's just mainly Melbourne people. I think I've done a decent amount of the Sydney guys that I can't even think, to be honest, of who I haven't done who would be fun to do.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, I think Brooksy, if anything, that would be fun. That'd be cool.
And like, as far as getting in and refereeing matches, and I think a lot of times, when it comes to performers, they have to be saved from themselves a lot of the times. And what I mean by that, obviously, like, what they're doing is going in there. They are doing things that can be high risk. Have you ever seen something in a match where you've gone, like, I think this person's injured, I might have to call this match, and they're telling you, no, it's fine, but your gut is going, I don't think that you are.
Yeah, there have been a few times in matches where they take a scary little bump and I get a bit freaked out. I know in the Rumble that we had at, what was it, 2 weeks ago with the Newy Rumble, Juan, so we had one of the Juan Direction members, it was tough one. He kind of got a little bit of a bad bump and he came straight into my corner. I was like, are you okay? And he goes, somehow. And I really thought he was injured and it looked really, really scary. But then, yeah, he ended up being okay from that. So I was glad. There's been one match where Albia and Troska had popped the shoulder out, but she popped it back in, so she was fine. Unfortunately. Yeah, that, and I didn't realize that had happened, and she was trying to tell me, and I'm trying to raise her arm, that had popped out, and I've just gone, no way. I felt so embarrassed after she told me. I was like, no, it just felt so bad. But
I think that's the thing of learning as well. Like, being yourself, you're 2 years in the business, like, you know what I mean? Like, the more that more matches that you get to ref, the more comfortable you're going to be in the ring, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I can definitely tell what bumps may look bad, but they're fine. Like, I haven't really had any bad injury, thankfully. Hopefully I don't have any in the new year. Knock on wood. But
is there any wrestling referee injuries like that are common in refs?
No, I think we all just get injured really easy, I guess. I don't think there's any common injury. Just, we take a hit, we're down. That's it. That's just the life of a ref. But yeah, pretty much, like, just one and done. But no, I don't know any other referees who have actually got any bad injury like I have, I guess. A lot of people get shocked when I tell them what I have and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I haven't seen anything common injury-wise with referees.
Sure. And like, as far as like, we mentioned before, someone said, well, we didn't notice you in the ring, so that's a good thing. Would you want to sort of be more of a flamboyant referee if that you saw an opportunity present itself?
I think I'd rather be in the back. I'd rather be like not seen. I don't want people to think I'm taking the spotlight. It's not something I ever want to do. I have heard of people say that I have tried to do it on purpose, and it's never anything that I do on purpose. Like, sure. If I do, it's completely accidental, but I never try to take the spotlight. I'm just in the back, chilling, having a good time, making sure I know what I'm doing, and just staying out. When I have to be in there, I have to be in there. But yeah.
But being accused of doing that would be still pretty confronting, especially when you're so like you in the business. Like how like I'm not going to go into details of like who when, but
oh no, it was just something that someone overheard say and someone told me, and I was like, yeah, that sucks. That they think that, but just stop looking at me. Like maybe it's just something they think, and other people don't, because they don't know me personally. So it just might be that personal thing, I guess. Sure. But yeah, no, I'd never try to take it. And when I heard that, I felt a little shitty, but just moved on. So
yeah. I think you got to be resilient in the world of pro wrestling, right? It's
it's take it on the chin and move on. Like that's just, it is what it is.
And the way to look at it as well. Sorry. I was going to say, the way to look at it as well would be like if it was an issue, the promoter would be coming in saying, hey, Hannah, this is an issue. We have a. And if you're not getting that, then continue doing.
I'm not worried. Yeah, I'm not worried about what people want to say about my refereeing style, to be honest. If I'm getting good tips from promoters, or I'm not getting any, like, if I'm not getting any bad feedback, I'm not worried. I only care about what promoters think. If promoters want to say I'm taking the spotlight, fine, I'll back up. But that's obviously not what I'm doing, trying not to do. And I am happy with feedback that I've got from majority people anyway. So it's
and
just
you have the people there that are your coaches that are going to tell you, the right sort of thing that they expect from you. So
yeah, definitely.
But on that note, it is time for 60 seconds with Piers. We are going to fire a bunch of questions at Hannah. She has 60 seconds to answer as many as she possibly can. Hannah, are you ready to get the ball going?
Yep, let's go.
All right, we'll get started. First up, which wrestler would you love to go out drinking with?
John Moxley. Oh, maybe not now.
Name a most, exactly. Name a gross meal combo you like that no one else does.
Peanut butter and chips on a sandwich.
If you were given a lion as a pet, what would you name it?
A lion as a pet? What was the question?
If you were given a lion as a pet, what would you name it?
A lion. Oh, Simba.
Uber Eats or Menu Log?
Uber Eats.
If you could delete one item from the world, what would it be?
OGs.
5-star hotel or camp? Oh, sorry, I thought you said OGs.
I have no idea with that question. Yeah, I don't know what I delete. Let's go pop vinyls because I'm addicted to them and I spend too much money on them.
5-star hotel or camping?
5-star hotel.
Snapchat or TikTok?
TikTok.
And last one, in 5 minutes, you are being shipped to outer space. What 2 personal belongings do you take with you, excluding human beings?
My phone and my computer, because I'm a tech nerd.
There you go. That has been 60 seconds with Piers, with referee Hannah. Hannah, thank you so much for being on. It's been a pleasure talking with you and learning more about you and having a chat. So I appreciate you giving up your time. But where can everyone find you on social media? Where can they follow you? And do you have merch out there that people can support you with that as well?
Yeah, so my socials, everything is referee Hannah. So that I've got Twitter and Instagram, and my Facebook is just referee Hannah. I don't have merch. It's not something I've really considered. I don't think a lot of referees have merch, but I don't know if people want it. Maybe we'll find out. But yeah,
too easy. Well,
yeah.
Hannah, thank you again for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you. Guys, also, like I said, wherever you're finding us, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like, share, download, comment, all the good stuff. Hit the bell to stay notified. If you're listening on any podcast platform, please leave us a 5-star review. Also, please check out our sponsors, healthvape.com and sleeves.com. Use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount. But guys, this is the last show before Christmas, so I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas. I will have a show in between Christmas and New Year's, so stay tuned for that. But until next time, guys, I'm Piers Austin. This is referee Hannah, and we're going to see you very, very soon. Peace.